It's a beautiful Saturday night in March for some playoff puck with a postseason college hockey night in Buffalo, presented by Franco's Pizza. Welcome to tonight's show, everybody. I'm Vinnie Christiano III, alongside Jackson Webster, for what could be the last time here on College Hockey Night in Buffalo as we preview the opening round of the Atlantic Hockey postseason between the number 9 Mercyhurst Lakers and the number 8 Canisius Golden Griffins. Jackson, these two teams have played each other more than any other school in these two programs' history, and they've already played 3 times this season, with the Lakers getting a shootout victory back on December 1st, a 5-1 victory in Erie, Pennsylvania on December 2nd in a home-and-home series, but it was the blue and gold of the Golden Griffins getting a win in early January in their third matchup this year.
Yeah, and the most recent matchup was pretty much all Griffs all the time. They came out hot, they had some goals early, and they were able to carry that through 60 minutes, but I think the biggest storyline to that game is David Fessenden going almost a full 60 minutes with no goals against. He really concreted himself as I'm here and I'm here to play good hockey at that point, with a little bit of up and down in the season before that, and that was really big to see this Griffs team put together and really find their identity as a full 60-minute team, which we hadn't seen a little bit earlier in the season. It was really good, and it's really exciting for them if they can get back to where they were for that game.
Interestingly enough, Canisius did not have a power play opportunity in this game, but did score 4 straight goals, courtesy of Jack Budd, Max Kuznetsov, Jackson Decker, and Eric Urbank, who scored an empty-netted shorthanded goal here to really seal the victory. But Garrett Dahm ruined the clean slate shortly thereafter with a goal with 8 seconds left to end the shutout bid for David Fessenden, but still 32 saves for the grad student goaltender for the Griffs in that victory, which Canisius eventually used to put themselves in a position to host the opening round here tonight. The key to winning this game and not having your season end this evening starts for the Lakers with control. The first element of that is controlling the puck. They're at 11th in Atlantic Hockey in face-off win percentage. They were sub 40% last week versus the Purple Eagles. Niagara is a good team at the dot, but Mercyhurst might have a little bit better advantage against the Griffs, who are not quite as talented as Niagara in that facet. The second control is the runs. Mercyhurst, a team that allows a lot of multi-goal against periods, but they get wins when they score multiple goals in periods. Last weekend, 2 goals in a single period 3 times against the Purple Eagles, and they allowed 3 goals in the second period against the Griffs earlier this season, which is one area Mercyhurst could improve to control this game and move on to the quarterfinals of the Atlantic Hockey postseason. For the Griffs, Jackson, you said it, limiting shots against RIT barraged the Griffs defense last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. You had 96 shots on goal against through the 2 games last weekend against a really good RIT team, so you can't really take a knock on RIT, but you also had 96 shot attempts against in the first night with 9 goals against. With that much rubber going towards the net, you can only expect pucks to go through and get to the mesh. It's all it is. You need to try to limit those chances, control the game from the back end, and let that propel you into the front end. On the other side of it, they need to find ways to score on the power play. It just blatantly hasn't been good enough for them. They're just over 16%, and there's teams in the conference that are pushing that 24, 25%. They need to come out and at least have a goal. If you get 3 power play opportunities tonight, you need to have a goal. And playing against a not-so-great penalty kill, Mercyhurst needs to come out and they need to try and be killing off at least 50% of their penalties to put them in a spot to succeed as well.
The 11th penalty kill in Atlantic Hockey. The Lakers have just under 75%. Special teams important in every matchup, but in the postseason specifically, and we are in the postseason. We've looked at these 2 clubs. We'll get a chance to take a look at the rest of the teams in contention for the Riley Trophy on this year's Atlantic Hockey postseason standings. Jackson, we see Canisius hosting Mercyhurst here tonight, the earliest game of the evening. Bentley has Robert Morris in Massachusetts, but a game I really like here this evening, the Army Black Knights against the Niagara Purple Eagles up in Lewiston. These 2 teams, I think, match up really well against one another. What are you expecting in that game specifically?
Yeah, Army, the Jack Riley Trophy, they know it very well with that history, but I really think Army's game to take. It's their game for the taking. No knock on Niagara. Niagara's playing really good hockey, and they're a really good team, especially at the face-off dot. That's a way that you can take control of a game. But it's playoff hockey. When everybody makes the playoffs in a conference, you just need to get hot and find your identity at the right time. And I think if anybody in the whole conference could find it right now, it's Army. I think that they can take it, they can run with it, and they could go a lot deeper than most people expect.
Army, a team that a lot of times people say is built for the postseason. Very physical, very daunting to play against them. The teams with a bye, though, are the top 5. They already moved on to the quarterfinals. RIT, the favorites this year, they've been ranked most of the season nationally. They certainly seem like a powerhouse this year. I'll be honest, Jackson, I really like Holy Cross, one of the hottest teams over the last few weeks. They have the conference's current leading point getter, Liam McClinsky. I really like the Crusaders to get over the hump after losing the championship last year, to get the win this year. How about you? Do you have a favorite in mind to win the Riley Trophy, or do you think an upset might occur in the championship game this year?
Yeah, RIT is just a powerhouse. They've played such good hockey this entire season, and I do think they're a beatable team, to be completely honest. You talk about McClinsky, I think Oliphant's a really good piece for the Crusaders as well. That's a really scary team if you have to come up against them. But for me, I think it's going to be all Air Force Falcons for the rest of the season. I think that Chris Hedden is a really big piece for that team, and he's dominating for them in both ends. But when you have 3 players that are in the top 5 for points and scoring in the conference, you have a group that propels you to win games. I think they're really scary to play against, and I think they're also really fun to watch. I can't wait to see that matchup.